Think back to last summer. It felt like it lasted a week, maybe less. Now think back to a summer when you were 8 years old and something impossible happens. You remember an entire universe. Go there for a moment. Really go. It is late morning. The sun is already high and the pavement is warm under your feet. You have nowhere to be. The day ahead of you is so long it has no visible end, like a road disappearing over a hill. By noon, you have already lived 3 small adventures. By evening, you have fought and made up with your best friend, invented a game with rules you will never remember, and eaten something you were not supposed to eat. And when you finally lie down that night, the morning feels like it happened a week ago, one day. It held all of that. Now look at last Tuesday. Can you find it? Can you separate it from the Tuesday before it, or the one before that? Somewhere between then and now, the days stopped holding things. The weeks began sliding past like stations seen from a moving train. You blinked in January and it was June. You blinked again and a whole year had been filed away, thin as a receipt. You have probably noticed this and shrugged it off as nostalgia. Everyone your age says the same thing, after all. But the real answer is far stranger than nostalgia. Your brain is not remembering time incorrectly. Your brain is manufacturing time, and the factory has been quietly changing its production methods every single year of your life. Here is the first uncomfortable truth. There is no clock inside your head, not a real one. Your heart keeps rhythm. Your cells run their cycles. But nowhere in your skull is there a device counting seconds the way your phone does. So when you feel time passing, you are not measuring anything. You are estimating, and your estimate is built from materials that shrink as you age. To understand how, you need to meet a few people. Each of them caught one piece of the puzzle. None of them lived to see the whole picture assembled. The story begins in France, near the end of the 19th century. Picture a philosopher named Paul Genet, walking the halls of the Sorbonne in Paris in 1897. He is an old man now, white-bearded, near the end of his career, and he has noticed something that bothers him. The years of his old age are vanishing at a speed that his childhood years never did. Other old men tell him the same. It cannot be coincidence, he thinks. There must be a mechanism, and the mechanism he proposes is so simple, it sounds almost childish. You judge the length of any stretch of time, Janet says, by comparing it to all the time you have already lived. When you are 1 year old, a single year is your entire existence, 100% of everything you have ever known. When you are 10, a year is 1/10 of your life, a large piece, but no longer the whole. When you are 50, a year is 1/50th, a thin slice, barely a sliver of the loaf. Each new year is weighed against a heavier and heavier past, so each new year weighs less. Do the math on Janet's idea and something disturbing falls out of it. Proportionally, the single year between your 5th birthday and your 6th feels as long as the entire 20-year stretch between 40 and 60. Not similar, equivalent. Follow the logic to its end, and you reach a conclusion that feels like a trapdoor opening. Measured in felt time, in proportional time, you experience roughly half of your entire life before you turn 8 years old, half of felt time, spent before you learned long division. Janet had found the shape of the illusion, but a shape is not a machine. Why would the brain work this way? What is it actually doing when it decides that one summer was endless and another was a blink? For that, cross the Atlantic. Go to Harvard, to a cluttered study filled with papers, and meet William James. James was arguably the most brilliant psychologist America ever produced, and in 1890 he published his masterwork, The Principles of Psychology, a book so far ahead of its time that researchers still mine it today. Buried inside it is a passage about exactly your problem. Why do the years shorten as we age? And James does not reach for philosophy. He reaches for memory. The days and weeks of adult life smooth themselves out, James wrote. They become automatic. The same commute, the same faces, the same tasks performed with the same hands. And when nothing new happens, nothing new gets recorded. A stretch of time with few memories inside it collapses in hindsight. It feels, looking back, like almost no time at all. This is the part nobody tells you, so hear it clearly. You do not perceive the length of time as it happens. You reconstruct it afterward, from memory. Duration is not experienced. It is written. Think of your memory as a photo album. When you were a child, everything was a first. First bike, first betrayal, first thunderstorm you watched alone. First time you realized that adults do not actually know what they are doing. Your brain treated every one of those moments as survival critical information and wrote them down in rich, expensive detail. A single childhood summer might fill 300 pages of the album. Now flip forward to last year. You drove the same roads. You opened the same apps. You had roughly the same conversation about being tired. And your brain, which is ruthlessly efficient, refused to waste storage on repetition. Why keep 1,000 nearly identical Tuesdays when one template will do? So last year gets 4 pages. And when you look back through the album, 4 pages feels like 4 pages. A blink. Scientists have a name for the moments that resist this compression. Memory markers, novel events, emotional spikes, anything that forces the brain out of prediction mode and into recording mode. Childhood is wall-to-wall markers. Adulthood, left on autopilot, produces almost none. But a question should be nagging at you now. Is this only a trick of hindsight? Or does time actually flow differently through a younger brain, in the moment, as it happens? To answer that, you need a tower in Dallas, a terrified volunteer, and a neuroscientist with a very personal reason for asking. His name is David Eagleman. When he was 8 years old, he fell off the edge of a roof under construction. And as he fell, something strange happened. The fall seemed to take a very long time. He remembered thinking calmly, clearly, watching the ground approach as if the world had shifted into slow motion. The fall lasted well under a second. It felt like an event with chapters. Eagleman grew up, became a neuroscientist, and never stopped wondering about that fall. Does fear actually slow time down? Does the brain truly shift into a higher speed when death gets close? As an adult, he designed an experiment to find out, and it remains one of the most dramatic experiments in the history of the field. He took volunteers to an amusement tower in Dallas and dropped them. Not on a ride with rails. A free fall, backward, from 150 feet, into a net. Pure, uncut terror, fully consented to. And on each volunteer's wrist, he strapped a special display flashing numbers just slightly too fast for a normal brain to read. The logic was beautiful. If fear genuinely slows down your perception, if the brain really runs faster in a crisis, then a falling person should be able to read those flashing numbers. Their faster brain should catch what a normal brain misses. So they fell, they screamed, they hit the net, and not one of them could read the numbers. But here's the twist. When Eagleman asked each volunteer to estimate how long their own fall had lasted, using a stopwatch to recreate the feeling, they overestimated it by about a third. Time had not slowed while they fell. Their memory of the fall had thickened. Terror had forced the brain to record everything, every detail in desperate high resolution, and a dense recording plays back as a long event. Read that again, slowly. The fall did not feel longer while it happened. It became longer in memory. That is the engine of your entire paradox. More memory written equals more time felt. Less memory written equals less time felt. Your childhood summers were not longer. They were denser. And every passing year, your brain writes less. So every passing year plays back shorter. You might think the story ends there. Ratio plus memory. Case closed. But there is a third force, and this one is not psychological at all. It is physical. It lives in the wiring. Meet Adrian Bajan, a professor of mechanical engineering at Duke University. Bajan is not a psychologist. He spent his career studying how things flow, rivers, heat, traffic, and in his youth he was a serious basketball player, good enough to notice something odd on the court. When he was young, rested, and sharp, the game seemed slow. He had time to see the play develop, time to decide. When he was exhausted, the game sped up and overwhelmed him. Decades later, in 2019, he published a paper explaining why, and it doubles as an explanation for your vanishing years. As you age, Bejan argued, your neural networks grow larger and more complex. The physical pathways that signals must travel become longer, and with age, parts of those pathways degrade. The result is measurable. An older brain processes fewer distinct mental images per second than a young one. Think of it as frame rate. A child's brain is filming the world in rapid-fire snapshots, frame after frame after frame. An older brain captures fewer frames in the same objective hour, and an hour containing fewer frames of experience simply contains less. It feels shorter, because for you it genuinely held less. A child and a grandparent sitting through the same afternoon are not having the same afternoon. One of them is living it in high frame rate, and you can watch this drift happen in a laboratory, in real time, with nothing more than counting. A psychologist named Peter Mangan ran a study so simple it is almost elegant. He gathered two groups, people in their early 20s and people in their 60s and 70s. He gave them one task: count 3 minutes in your head, 1 second at a time. No clocks, no help, just your inner sense of a second, repeated 180 times. The young group stopped almost perfectly on time, within a few seconds of 3 real minutes. Their inner clock and the world's clock were still in step. The older group kept counting, confident, steady, and wrong. On average, their internal 3 minutes did not finish until roughly 3 minutes and 40 seconds had passed in the outside world. Their inner ticks had slowed down, and when your inner ticks come slower than the world, by comparison, races. The calendar seems to sprint ahead of you, page after page, because your internal metronome can no longer keep up with it. Now stand back and look at what you are actually dealing with. 3 separate forces, discovered by different people in different centuries, all pushing in the same direction. Janet's ratio. Each new year is a smaller fraction of everything you have lived, so it carries less weight. James and Eagleman's memory engine. Routine compresses months into footnotes, and only novelty writes thick pages. Began and Mangan's hardware drift. The frame rate of your experience is gently, physically declining, and your inner clock is falling behind the world's. No wonder your 40s feel like a corridor with the lights flashing past. The illusion is not a flaw in your character. It is a machine with 3 motors, and all 3 are running. But here is where this stops being trivia and becomes personal, because 2 of those 3 motors respond to how you live. The ratio is fixed. You will never again live a year that is 20% of your existence. That door closed quietly a long time ago, and no habit reopens it. But the memory engine, the one James identified with a pen and Eagleman proved with a tower, that engine responds to input. It always has. Feed it novelty and it writes. Feed it routine and it sleeps. So ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you did something for the first time? Researchers who study subjective time keep colliding with the same strange finding. It is sometimes called the holiday paradox, and you have lived it. Think of a week you once spent somewhere unfamiliar. While you were living it, it flew. You were absorbed, present, busy noticing. But look back on it now and it feels enormous, bigger than entire months of ordinary life. The first day walking a new city can leave more written memory behind than 30 days of the same commute. You did not get more hours that week. You got more frames, which means something quietly radical. The felt length of the rest of your life is, to a real degree, an editorial decision. The clock on the wall is out of your hands. The album is not. Take the unfamiliar street home. Learn the instrument badly. Talk to the stranger. Cook the dish you cannot pronounce. Sit somewhere you have never sat and watch light you have never watched. None of it slows the earth. All of it thickens the record. And the record is the only version of your life you will ever get to hold. Your ancestors seem to have understood this without a single laboratory. Look at how traditional societies treated the year. They refused to let it flow past unmarked. They drove stakes into it. Festivals, feasts, pilgrimages, fire ceremonies at the turning of seasons. Days so distinct, so loud with meaning, that the brain had no choice but to record them in full. Each celebration was a memory marker, deliberately planted, saying this happened, and it was unlike the days around it. A year with 12 unmissable events in it cannot fully collapse. It has structure. It has pages. Modern life quietly pulled up the stakes and replaced them with a scroll. The same glowing rectangle, morning and night, feeding you a stream designed to be forgotten. Then it wondered, with you, where all the years went. So no, time is not actually speeding up. The Earth turns today at the same pace it turned when you were 8. The seconds have not changed their length. What changed is the density of you inside them. The child on that warm pavement was recording everything, because everything was new. The adult on the train is recording almost nothing, because almost nothing is. And that is a diagnosis, not a sentence. Which brings you back to where all of this started. Last summer felt like it lasted a week. But you can see now that this was never a measurement. It was a report from your own memory, telling you, with uncomfortable honesty, exactly how much of last summer you truly lived. The summers of your childhood were not longer. They were fuller. And the next summer, the one still ahead of you, unwritten, is waiting to be as long as you decide to make it. Here is one small first you can do right now. If you have never subscribed to this channel, make this your first time, like the video, and let it become a memory marker in your day. New truths about being human arrive here every week. Do not let them slip past unrecorded.